Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
How you guys all doing tonight on this Thursday evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and this is my review of this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Again, taking a break from live streams this week because tonight I'm going to try to record this review, and I also am going to record my NXT Roadblock review because I did check out that show. Really enjoyed it. I didn't get to check it out till last night though because, again, Tuesday nights are my nights out. But I did want to check out Roadblock for a change. I got a hair in my mouth. Think I got it out? I think so. Yeah, we're good. And of course, also, I did have to update the graphics here because we do have a new Women's World Champion in Io Sky, and she's bitch-slapping people because of this show. I'm not going to say too much about this show, really. Parts of it was kind of filler. I mean, like, nothing, like, really, like, new to progress some storylines forward, but there was some good stuff. It was a solid episode of Monday Night Raw. Just not quite as hot as I thought it would be for being in Madison Square Garden, but, you know, there was some good stuff, but there was also, again, some stuff that was kind of like filler. Like, not really, like, too worthy of WrestleMania, but still. And after the end of the day, I will say, gracias! Because there's a Chad Gable ripoff in a luchador mask wandering around. That stuff with Chad Gable was so funny. And of course the main event. And the segment with Io Sky I enjoyed too. The other stuff was what it was. Nothing like really horrible, but it's just like not much new really. Again, slight filler, but I still give it a solid grade. Because it was harmless. But definitely not as hot of a show I thought that we were going to get from Madison Square Garden. I did like the setup, though, in the arena, though. Because it was very similar to what it was on the Netflix premiere in January. I do like how you have the entrance ramp and some fans above it. I think that's kind of cool. It gives that bigger show feel. Even though, again, it didn't capitalize on as big of a show as I thought it was going to be. But it was still solid. Believe it or not, I actually like the NXT show a little more than this episode of Raw. But better than we normally got years ago. But yeah, let's talk about this episode of Raw. It took place this past Monday, March 10th, 2025, in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Right across the street from the New Yorker Hotel, which I've stayed at twice, both times I've been to New York City. For SummerSlam 2015 and WrestleMania 35. We're going to roll in and talk about the show and just, again, kind of go through something we'll talk a little bit more about, but again, it's going to be a simple review, I feel like. Such as we open up the show with Jey Uso versus Grayson Waller. Yeah, it was like a mini feud that Jey Uso's having until his match with Gunther WrestleMania and him with A-Town Down Under. Okay? The fact that A-Town Down Under feels like more so jobbers right now than what they were trying to present them before is kind of sad. So it gives Jay a win, cool, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish there was someone on Raw that Jay could have like a mini feud with before WrestleMania just to, you know, get that one big victory. But I guess they're trying to keep him with the underdog feel going into Gunther because Jay does beat Gunther. I mean, sorry, he hasn't beat Gunther yet. Jay beats Grayson. I guess he's fighting Austin Theory next week. Lovely. And Gunther just came out and snuck behind him and choked him out. kind of showing that, Jay's not going to be prepared for him. I still think, my honest opinion, if they don't want to, have this, fluky victory for Jay Uso at WrestleMania, I mean, the match will be great. I still seriously think they should consider making that match 2 out of 3 falls. Just my opinion. I still think that's what they should do. Just to since Gunther's had the upper hand on Jay quite a few bit, kind of shut those people up that just don't believe that Jay can legitimately beat Gunther. Again, make it 2 out of 3 falls. That's where I would go with it. And probably main eventing night 1, either that or the triple threat that got set up at the end of the show. I still think, though, with how hot Jay Uso is, how over he is, I still think they should main event night 1 personally. But I would understand if they went with the triple threat that was set up in the main event of this show. But until then, I guess we're getting Jay Uso fighting A-Town Down Under. Meh, to be honest. Whatever. We do have Alpha Academy, though, check on Jay, though, afterwards, shown backstage. Logan Paul came out. AJ Styles was supposed to call out Logan Paul. And basically, he was just saying, yeah, AJ Styles, blah, blah, blah. You all are here to see me and all this and that. He said something about The Rock turning on John Cena and how, if Logan Paul got the offer, he would take the offer, blah, blah, blah. But he basically was just gloated about himself like usual. He points out Andrew Schultz out in the crowd. Not really familiar with him. Apparently my wife knows him. When I saw him, I thought at first he was Simon Gotch, no joke. With the hair and the mustache, he looked like Simon Gotch. Andrew Schultz basically told him that, he came to see the steel cage match and nobody came to see Logan. So obviously, Logan didn't like that, so he yanked him over the barricade. AJ came out and stopped him, and Styles just basically kept talking trash on Logan as he was walking out like a freaking coward. So it didn't really get much progression other than the fact that, AJ just basically stood in the ring and put over a celebrity. But nothing really gearing towards their Mania match. We still got time, but still, that was kind of filler right there. Nothing really new from Logan. You see here. Oh, yeah. We also are shown that Obafemi, the NXT champion, the ruler, is in the front row. He was, of course, obviously, chilling before his match against Moose at NXT Roadblock, which was awesome. I'll talk about that in the NXT review. But the next match was the Tornado Tag match with the New Day and the LWO. Match was fine. Of course, the most memorable thing about this match is the fact that there was another luchador came out of nowhere and throws hands up, and he does a big German suplex, and on the LWO were posing going, Gracias! So it was obvious that that Chad Gable was the one in that mask, because he went off on a sabbatical to figure out how to defeat the Luchas. Although later on, Kathy Kelly had this interview basically where she was calling Chad Gable a liar, saying that, that was him, and Chad's like, no, it's not. And then you see someone else, also Chad was talking trash on New York security, and then you see someone else down the hall in the luchador mask getting taken out. I thought that was hilarious, but it's obviously a freaking ploy. Chad Gable was obviously the one in the mask. I thought it was hilarious, though. Again, they should have put a mid-card title on Chad Gable by now. Okay, yeah, I know Bron Breakker has it, but Chad Gable needs something. I mean, he really needs something. He's done such good work with this heel character the past year, just saying. But the New Day, of course, because of that distraction, does win. We also get Judgment Day chill in the clubhouse, complaining about Braun Breaker. They also said how Carlito just wants to talk about how he's surprised that Cena turned heel, whatnot. And now apparently Raquel Rodriguez gets a path for WrestleMania. She has a random match against Bayley, and if she beats Bayley, she'll get a shot for the women's IC title. Kind of random. And then Dominic Mysterio somehow talked to Adam Pearce and convinced him to give Finn Balor an Intercontinental title match against Braun Breaker next week on Raw. Which I'm like, no offense, but why would you give Finn Balor a title shot when all he's done lately is lose? Like, serious question. When was the last time Finn Balor has actually won a match? Yeah. It's been a long time. So him just getting handed a title shot kind of scratches my head a little. And also, they keep teasing the thing where Dominic's saying stuff like they want to add new members, and I'm kind of like, no more new members are needed. Like, for real, you don't need to add any more members. The Judgment Day again, they need to move on from each other. It's not working. Like, it's not doing anything good for them. Like, Liv has had the best thing out of this, and she joined Judgment Day while she was on her career run. And sorry, I paused. I just heard stuff getting pulled down by my dogs upstairs. But yeah, Judgment Day needs to disband. I keep hoping that the story leads to them just breaking up, but why are they feeling it's not going to be the case? I don't know. But Judgment Day needs to end, and I don't get why Finn Balor's getting the Intercontinental title shot when he hasn't won a match in how long. Anyways, we also see Macaulay Culkin in the crowd. This is the second time we've seen him on Raw this year. We also saw him in the Raw premiere. Cody Rhodes had a promo basically saying the same exact thing on SmackDown, except advertising that John Cena will be in the same room as him next Monday on Raw. You know, it's a SmackDown title. I guess maybe that's Cena's best schedule is on Mondays. I don't know. But yeah, Cody and Cena will both be face-to-face on Raw next week. Cool with me. Bayley loses to Raquel Rodriguez. They had Dominic and Liv get involved, even though Bayley got back in, and it didn't look like the distractions did much to help Raquel, to be honest. So Raquel won kind of clean, I guess, but she's randomly getting a match with Lyra Valkyria. Getting not really much of a story, just kind of random, getting a shot, whatever. Not really a WrestleMania match for me. I hope that's not the WrestleMania match. Like I said, if they want Lyra to defend the title at WrestleMania, the only person I think that would make her match worthy of being a WrestleMania match is if she fought Becky Lynch. But starting to think Becky's not coming back anytime soon. Could be wrong, but who knows? Definitely not going to be at WrestleMania, because I thought that the main event was either going to feature Roman Reigns returning or Becky Lynch and AJ Lee returning, in my opinion. But that didn't happen there. I love this segment. Io Sky came out to be interviewed with Michael Cole as she's the new Women's World Champion, saying how it felt good to be in MSG, and she proved the impossible is possible, and now she is over the moon to be champion and going to WrestleMania. And then Bianca Belair comes out. Her and Io have never seen eye to eye, but she's excited for both of them to have a match at WrestleMania. She wasn't planning on making anything happen last week, and she's apologized to Rhea. But if she thought she could put her hands on her without consequences, she doesn't know her at all. Which Rhea comes out, and she is upset, talking down the ramp, asks Bianca why she got involved, and she doesn't like any of Bianca's answers. She accuses her of being scared of her, and they start bickering with each other. They talk about the whole personal stuff with Naomi and Jade. But what was the best part, though, was when Io was trying to, say something, each of them would push her out of the way. Finally, Io's like, I ain't gonna be an afterthought. She got in between them. She said, wait! Boom! Slaps Rhea. Turns to Bianca. Boom! Slaps Bianca. And she was just like, I'm the champion. I'm not an afterthought and whatnot. Which I really like that. Like I said, I'm hearing rumors that the reason why they put the belt on Io is just so they can protect either Bianca or Rhea at Mania, which I hope that's not the case, because they don't need to throw Io in there just for someone else to eat the pin. We're kind of past those times at times where it's like you don't always have to protect someone. WrestleMania is a moment where you give someone a big victory. Bianca and Rhea is a match they've teased for a while, but now we're throwing Io in there, which again, the match will still be good. But again, it's like, just don't treat Io like an afterthought. Don't treat her like a paper champion. But we'll have to wait and see where it goes. And then finally, our main event, Seth Rollins and CM Punk inside the steel cage. A match started off a little bit slow. I would say they used too much of the steel cage. And again, I did just see Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher from Revolution this past Sunday. So obviously it was not going to be as bloody, of course, as that because WWE is PG. But I'd say, like, you know, if there wasn't a cage, well, they probably did a cage because of the finish. But it really didn't need the cage, but it was still a great match. They basically couldn't put each other down, and at times that they had to like black out because they were giving each other the finger and whatnot. So, yeah, basically Seth and Punk are 1-1. I guess they're not gonna be 1-1 at WrestleMania because Roman Reigns did in fact return. Seth Rollins won the match because Roman just yanked Seth out of the cage and just like laid waste to him. Even curb stomped him, which a fun fact I saw online. Within the 24 hours at the time, all three members of the Shield, Seth Rollins on CM Punk, Roman Reigns on Seth Rollins, and Jon Moxley on Cope, had no joke. No joke. I lost my train of thought, sorry. I lost my train of thought. Oh, well, I can't remember where we're going. Sorry, that's not a text up, but yeah. All three members of the Shield used the curb stomp within 24 hours. But yeah. But then, Roman was about to do it again to Rollins, except this time into the steel steps. Just like Seth did to Roman at the Rumble. But then Roman looks over into the cage. He sees Paul Heyman's in there consoling CM Punk. So Roman snaps like, "What are you doing?" Goes in there, spears CM Punk. And so obviously I'm pretty sure Paul Heyman's kind of quivering his boots a little. Interesting dynamics, though, like I said, because all three of these guys are still technically faces. I know Seth Rollins is probably supposed to be the heelish of the three of these, but the way he's being booked, the reason why I haven't pulled the trigger on the turn alert yet, it feels like Seth's more being booked as like a de facto heel rather than a legitimate heel, in my opinion. I guess this is one of the storylines where it's like they're letting the three of them just be themselves. And, you know, there's no true villain, no true hero. It's just three men that literally don't like each other. I guess, I don't know. Like I said, it still feels a little bit thrown together. Especially also because if this favor that Punk asked for Heyman back in Survivor Series is just for him to fight Roman, it's like, you would have thought that Punk would have main evented the show. And it would have main event. You would have thought that Punk would have been asking for something more than just fighting the Tribal Chief. Unless if he's asking for it to be the main event of night one for WrestleMania. Because I keep thinking about it. Yeah, Punk, if he really wants to main event WrestleMania, he is kind of running out of time. But, I don't know. We'll see where it goes, though. But yeah, great ending with Roman going ape shit on Seth Rollins and then seeing Punk get consoled by Heyman. He's like, "What are you doing?" And spears him out of his boots and whatnot. So we'll see where that goes for that triple threat match in a few weeks. Well, next month at Mania. But yeah, didn't talk too long. Only about 20 minutes. That's my thoughts on Raw. Like I said, some good stuff. Like I said, I like the stuff with EO. Chad Gable was hilarious. And the main event was awesome too. Everything else, fine. Nothing too special. I gave the show a B-. A B- for Raw this week. What are your guys' thoughts this week's episode of Raw? Do you feel like it was kind of like a breather episode or whatnot with a little bit of filler? And leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below as always. Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at The Club of Demand 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, The Club of Demand 1993. And I'll also try to record my NXT Roadblock review next. So hopefully Both of these will be premiering later on tonight. I'll be uploading them while I watch my DVRing episode of Law & Order SVU. So hopefully I'll get that and maybe some other stuff uploaded the next few days as well. So until then, guys, I'll check it out. I'll catch y'all soon. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!